Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Rosie Rose Reads. I am Rosie and I am reading, and today I wanted to do a little book haul of books that I have picked up recently. I have ordered some of these books and others I have found in little free libraries and thrifting, but a lot of them were on my TBR, so they're either on my TBR or books that I've read and loved but didn't have a physical copy of because I had gotten from the library. And I figured it would just be a little fun video to check in. I didn't film an October TBR video this month because I was just kind of really feeling like I didn't really have a lot that was necessarily on my radar or that I wanted to plan for, and I would just kind of pick up books that I was feeling, and I've done that so far. I will definitely talk about that more in my October wrap up when the time comes, but I still wanted to film a video and I didn't have time to really do a 24-hour readathon challenge, and I wasn't quite sure what else kind of videos to post. So if you ever have ideas for videos or you really like certain videos from other booktubers that you watch, please feel free to always drop those in the comments. I'm always open to ideas. But for now, I hope you guys enjoy this recent book haul and let's jump into it. So the first book that I wanted to talk about is a book that I got from a book subscription. So I recently got off of the waitlist for the Illumicrate adult book subscription. And if you don't know, Illumicrate basically is a book subscription box. You pay a price every month and then you get a mystery exclusive edition book that the curators pick and work with artists and the author to do fun special edition things. So I got my first Illumicrate book, and this would be the September 2023 book, which I just recently got, and it was A Study in Drowning by Ava Reed. And this edition is so beautiful. It has these super fun sprayed edges. It has this beautiful cover, and then it has end paper art on both sides. It is the same art, but beautiful. And to make it even better, the naked hardback is just stunning. I just am so impressed. It is so fun. And this book is very much kind of like dark academia vibes. She is a student in the architecture college and she goes to design a house of her favorite author who's recently deceased. And there she meets a student from the literature college who's trying to prove that her favorite author is kind of a fraud, or not everything is as it seems. So we definitely have those vibes going on in this book design, and I just love it. I absolutely loved this book. I did read it in October, so I'll talk more about it in my October wrap up, but it's just a stunning edition and it was a really special book. So I am so excited that for such a special book that I have such a special edition. And I'm excited to see what other books come in Illumicrate. I am very thankful that I'm in a privileged enough position where I can afford this monthly expense, but I know that's not the case for everybody. Yeah, but it's just super fun. So I thought that would be a fun one to start off this book haul on. And next, I want to talk about some books that I have read but didn't have physical copies of that I ordered and picked up. And the first of those that I ordered are the two UK paperback editions of A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless by Rebecca Ross. If you have been watching my videos, I read these over the summer and absolutely fell in love with them. They're at the top of my favorite fantasy series for sure. Duologies, absolutely. But some of my favorite books I've ever read. They follow a group of characters in a fictional Scotland who have to deal with a mystery and then the other clan on this island. They're super magical realism, have a lot of nature magic, and are just so beautifully written. They are a love story and it follows a couple that's kind of more YA and then a couple that's more adult, and both of their love stories are just so beautiful. I have been on the look for the special edition covers that either Illumicrate or Fairy Loot did of this duology, and they are just selling for like $200, so I haven't been able to get my hands on those. But the UK paperback edition of A Fire Endless just came out at the end of September, so I pre-ordered it and then ordered the UK paperback edition of A River Enchanted. And I really love these UK editions because they have gold foil on the covers, which I just think makes them so special. And then I really love the font on these ones. The US paperback edition, the title is a lot smaller and it goes like exactly straight across the cover, whereas this one is kind of woven in with the river and a little bit bigger, and this one's woven in with the fire and a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I just absolutely am in love with these. I'm so excited to have physical copies. I first read them from the library and also listened to them on Scribd. So I'm so excited to have the physical copy and get to reread them whenever I want, and they're so pretty with the gold foil. So I got them from Blackwell's, which includes the price of shipping to the US in their prices, and wasn't like unreasonable. So if you're looking for UK editions of any of your favorite books, I would recommend Blackwell's. And also in the Rebecca Ross world, I picked up a copy of Divine Rivals. I also read this one, I think on Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't have a physical copy. I did pre-order the Barnes & Noble exclusive copy of the next book, Ruthless Vows, and that is set to come out, I believe, the day after Christmas. It's a very pretty like blue cover. I think the normal cover is white, but I really liked the Barnes & Noble one because it was just a little bit darker. And I figured since I had pre-ordered the copy of that, I would pick up the copy of this so that I had the complete duology when it came out. I also think I want to give this one a reread for sure before I pick up A Ruthless Vow in December, because I enjoyed it, but it certainly wasn't my favorite Rebecca Ross, and it also wasn't my favorite like romantasy book. But I had been reading a lot of romantasy when I read it the first time, so I think I want to pick it up and see if it like hits a little bit harder come December, especially right before Ruthless Vows. So I am excited to have it. I'm excited to have it in addition to my other two Rebecca Ross books, and I will be super excited when I get a Ruthless Vow and have these two next to each other. So I love to thrift a lot of my books, and all of those books I just talked about I purchased at full price or like the subscription box, which can be pricey. But I do thrift a lot of my books. I do read a lot of my books through the library. So those are great ways to keep expenses on books down when you're reading so much. I've read like 130 books so far this year. So if I had been purchasing copies of every one of those books, I would be hurting. So I have some books that I picked up from little free libraries in our neighborhood. The first is Scarred by Emily McIntyre, and this is the second book to Hooked. I believe the series is called the Never After series. I have not read Hooked, but I've heard a lot of really good things. I saw this copy, I read the back, it looked pretty interesting. Hooked is on Kindle Unlimited. I believe the whole series is on Kindle Unlimited, but I will pick up Hooked on Kindle Unlimited and then jump into this one. And if I really like the series, I might purchase Hooked. Or if the series isn't for me, I can always gift this to a little free library since I picked it up at a little free library. I definitely feel a little bit more at ease when I pick up a little free library book, because if I don't enjoy it or I end up DNFing it or it just falls off my TBR, I can always unhaul it into a little free library, and I feel like I'm not like losing money because I'm not, even though I gifted a book to it when I took this. So it looked interesting. I've heard some good things about this series. It is an adult kind of fantasy series as far as I'm aware. Actually, I'm not sure if there's magic or if it's just like kind of prince and lands and like lord and ladies type setup, but it should be interesting. So I'm looking forward to reading those. And then actually downstairs in my apartment building's laundry room, people have started to create a kind of like little free library shelf. So they put books down there, and I sometimes take books from there. And I found this gorgeous set of Rupi Kaur's poetry. So it's Milk and Honey and The Sun and Her Flowers. And Rupi Kaur's books and poetry have been on my TBR for a really long time. I've seen quotes and like one-off poems that I've really enjoyed of hers. So when I saw these, I immediately picked them up. They do have a little bit of damage. This one doesn't, but this one has a little bit of water damage. And this like cover for them is a little weathered. It looks like somebody might have been using it as like a coaster set out. But I like definitely, since I was interested in reading the poetry, thought this would be a great way to do it and would rehome these in my house. And I really like the kind of sleek black look with the bee and her name on these. So I thought those were a fun find, and I'm excited to jump into them. I do enjoy reading poetry. I don't read a lot of it. I think the only collection of poetry that I've read so far in 2023 was Clint Smith's Above Grounds, and Clint Smith is like one of my favorite historians, and he's also a poet. So I would really recommend that if you're into poetry, and I know so many people love Rupi Kaur's poetry, so I'm excited to jump into that. So the last book of this little book haul I picked up at the thrift store yesterday, and it has been on my TBR forever, and that is There by Tommy Orange. And this book follows a various like grouping of characters. They're not all related, and they are all traveling to the big Oakland powwow. It is an Indigenous story, and it follows the lives of Indigenous characters, and I've heard just absolutely wonderful things. I've also heard it's like very heart-shattering. It's very emotional. This book has, like I said, been on my TBR for a very long time. I've talked to a coworker who's read it and really enjoyed it. I actually picked up bookmarks from the book festival that we went to. If you watched that video, we got a lot of swag, and one of those were bookmarks for this book. So I picked up two. I think I have one still, and I gave one to my coworker for her copy. So I was very excited to find a copy for myself, and hopefully finding this copy will like bump it on my TBR and I will finally read it. Because I know there are like so many books on my Goodreads that I'm like, that sounds so interesting, but they just stay on my TBR for a really long time. So this one is definitely like on my brain again, and I'm hoping to get to it soon. So yeah, that is it. The only other book that I am expecting this month, and I thought maybe I would wait until I got that to film this, but I had free time and was in the mood to chat, so I figured I'd just sit down and film it now. But the only other book I'm expecting to get, I pre-ordered the second book in the One Dark Window series by Rachel Gillig, which is called Two Twisted Crowns. I actually did get an arc of that from NetGalley, and I talked about that review in my September reading wrap up, but I'm super excited to have the second book. I pre-ordered it before I had gotten the arc, and it will be nice to have on my shelf with the One Dark Window book. So yeah, that's all that I'm expecting to get. I did spend like a little bit more money on books this month than I probably have in all of my other months of book talking. I actually do keep a spreadsheet of all of the books I read and the platform that I read them on, and like how much I paid to read it versus what the Amazon listing price is for. So I will probably do a video talking about like the spread of that if people are interested towards the end of the year, but I like know I've saved so much money reading through the library through apps like Libby and utilizing local library cards, and I just highly recommend that. I also live in an apartment and I have 3 bookshelves and they are all full, and I am aware of like collecting books you know, sometimes reading and book collecting are two different hobbies. In this haul, I definitely like focused a little bit more on book collecting as opposed to just reading, since I've already read some of these books. But I like fully support everyone's hobby, and if your hobby is more along the lines of book collecting and financially you can do that, I'm in full support of that. I just know it's not always financially available for everyone to be really into book collecting, but that shouldn't be prohibitive of people being into reading, because there are so many ways that you can read books at a much lower price or for free, like little free libraries, like thrifting books where they're usually like 99 cents or $1.99, or we'll do a like 6 for $5 deal or something like that. And of course, using your local libraries and getting library cards where reading is always free. So I'm a huge proponent of that. Even if I do a little book haul video, I don't want that to take away from how much I support not just buying books. And also I should say, like, I did order some of these books, but I always like to shop local when I'm able to. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. I know it was kind of just rambling and me chatting, but I hope you enjoy some of these books. I know I do, and I'm excited to see them on my bookshelves and have them. Have you gotten any books recently? If so, let me know in the comments. Like I said, if you have any ideas for other videos that you'd like to see me do, please let me know. Yeah, I don't think I have much more like lined up until my October reading wrap up, but October is already flying by, like we're already halfway through basically, so that'll be here before you know it. And yeah, so as always, thank you for watching. Please like and comment. If you're new or have not yet, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. And until we meet again, I hope you have a 5-star read. Thanks.